This one to a
Such a nice. I love this office, but I think it's so cool.
so you've got like, because you've got like Irish travellers, they're not Gypsy
What is it? You have
travellers.
an Irish sign outside. What is what? So
Because we have Irish travellers come here as well. It's only any travellers in the area. So there are quite a few Irish sites around here.
all right. So let's start. This is great. I love that it's so quiet and intimate. So let's start with the in Bromley, because I do want to focus on Bromley, the town of
Yeah.
Bromley. I find it fascinating. And on YouTube, I saw that there was videos, but from 20, 30 years ago, because where I'm staying at a bed and breakfast, he told me they used to have parking lots with Roma gypsies, and they would
Yeah.
take people's.
If you look over here at these photos, these are, wow, goodness, 1947. Let's get this out. So this is the original site that was in Mary Cray. So I don't know if you drove past the gasworks on the bus.
I took a taxi
Oh,
there.
you got to sit. Did you
After
see
when we leave, you can show me or point it out where this is. That's
Yeah.
still there. You're saying?
the gasworks are, but the sites, you see where the trailers are in front of them, that was closed down, and all the travellers moved to mainly to Star Lane, which is just up here, the Star Lane site. But that was that was really how many people came to Mary Cray. Many travellers settled in Borough.
Okay, so many.
And that's because this was all countryside. So this was all farmland around here back then. So they
In Bromley, we're in Bromley.
we're in Bromley, but
So
round
why do you
here-
think the travelers came to particularly Roma gypsies, why they came to Bromley?
Right. This is all part of Bromley. It's all part of the Bromley Borough. So we've got St Paul's Cray and St Mary Cray, which is where you are now in St Mary Cray. This was all farmlands. So the Romany Gypsies came here because they worked the farms, hop picking and fruit picking, and that's why they were here. So they settled here at the chocolate pit, and they were there for a while, and then they were moved up to the Star Lane site, and this site was closed. But this area became built up. Farms were cut and cancelled and built on and what have you. And yeah, I mean, many travellers have stayed here. Many have moved into houses now, so they're more settled. But there's Irish traveller sites around here, Romany sites around here, all in the Borough.
What is a Romany gypsy? Because they're not from Romania.
They're
Tell
from
me-
India, originally from India. So probably a lot from Punjabi have come from that part of India and come over here. God, thousands of years ago, left India, maybe 2,000 years ago.
Why do they call them Roma gypsies?
We're not really sure. I've heard a story that they came over with as slaves for the Romans, and that's how they got their lifestyle. But I'm not sure. It's all speculation. We're not really sure how they left India. But there are many stories, different stories if you Google it. But we're not sure really.
When they came to when did the problem start happening in Bromley with the gypsies? When did that start, and why did you get involved? And curious.
So you had back in I can't remember, in the early 50s, late 40s maybe, you had the Highway Acts came in. So that meant that travellers could no longer settle at the side of the road, or anybody else with that. And then you had the Traveller Sites Act came in. The Caravan Site Act came in, and this meant that there was a lot of legislation around sites, and many of the authorised traveller sites were closed. So then it became very hard for them to live within the law, because they either give up their culture and their heritage and move into a house, or they carry on travelling and live illegally, which is what many people did. And I think that's certainly added to the tension between the traveller communities and society, this kind of this relationship.
I don't know the relationship.
Oh,
explain the tension, explain the relationship, explain how bad it can get or it's gotten. I have no idea.
I think I would say it's getting better. I hope it's getting better, but I think because traveller communities tend to be quite isolated, they're quite separated from the rest of society. So there's a lot of mistrust on both sides. But I haven't had a client who hasn't experienced discrimination and oppression. It's almost the last legal form of racism in this country. It's not, but it is. Socially acceptable, not legal, socially acceptable racism in this country. So, you know, and I hear it as a worker here. I'm a non-traveller, but I've heard, you know, when I tell people what I do, you know, I've had racist comments. So this is me as a non-traveller, as a worker. So for them, they experience a lot of discrimination.
An example of discrimination: you have to get out of my store. You can't shop here. What is an example of a discrimination?
Well, it used to be like
as far as overt discrimination. I mean, I know subtle discrimination, but overtly, what would be a classic story?
Well, nowadays you have because of the Equality Act, things like that.
I don't know the Equality Act. What is
the Equality Act? Is it's for anti-discriminatory practice, so it's illegal to put signs on your door saying no travellers allowed. 15 years ago, there were signs on doors saying no travellers allowed, but that's now illegal to do that with any culture, any race. I'll leave it go to answer machine. But it's so in that sense, it's getting better.
Wow, that's incredible.
Hello, Bromley Gypsy and Traveller Project. She's not in the office today. Can I take a message? Right. Okay, so Melissa. I'm Melissa. I'm a support worker here. Right. Yes, certainly. Can I take her phone number? 01380, yeah. 726-486. Right. Okay. Right. I will do. I'll pass that message on. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye. Bye. Sorry.
What's this wagon up? Is that a classic toy for?
Yes. That's it's it's a.
Can you show it to me? That's a classic toy.
So this is, if you can see here, these are the traditional ones.
How did you get this? This is incredible.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure how we got some of these things in here. But yeah, you can see they're all very painted and beautiful.
It's just. You don't have an extra one of these I could have, do you?
Cool. We don't have an extra one. I could probably. No, we don't. I'm sorry.
No pamphlets, no handouts for this?
We don't have anything. We really don't.
Alright, so back to the discrimination as far as overt types in Bromley. So the signs, they did the sign, then they had the Equality Act.
Yeah.
That got rid of it.
That got rid of it, but you've got, I've had clients who have had comments from people within the council. Many of the travellers that still live on sites aren't having their social justice met. They're not having. They've got toilet blocks that aren't working. They've got the Star Lane site didn't have electricity for about 3 years because it was vandalised and then it wasn't replaced. Bromley Council should have replaced that, but it wasn't replaced for a long time. So their living conditions are made difficult. And I think a lot of it is to, the idea is to eventually shut these sites down. I think that's really what they want to do, but people, travellers love to travel. They love that lifestyle. I know many travellers who live in houses who hate it. All they want to do is live back on the site. But the authorised sites just aren't enough. There are very, very few within the whole country. The national problem.
I don't understand though. If they want to, there's a site down the street. You're saying that's their site. Where are they? You're saying that they don't stay there. They'll travel somewhere else. I don't get it. And why? And are they working at all now? How do they make money to support themselves right now? Because there's no farm here now.
No. But because it's a authorised site, means they've got a permanent address, so they can get jobs anywhere. Some are builders, some working. In fact, the more education is becoming more important, so it's to them. So their children are now becoming educated, which didn't happen before within the education system. So now there are travellers who are having higher paid jobs, skilled jobs, where before they didn't. So that's an interesting evolution that's happening now. These younger travellers are coming up and going to college, and getting the jobs that everybody else gets.
So what is and you are a social worker, obviously, and you go to school.
I'm not qualified. Yeah, I'm not.
So then what would a qualified social worker? What is their job with the travelers? Are they required under this act? Do they have to visit? Are these sites visited routinely by social workers? How do they have to deal with social workers, the travelers, and what is that relationship like? I'm curious.
It would depend. It's not because they're.
And who's calling the social workers on them?
Yeah, just because they're travellers doesn't mean the social workers will go and see them automatically. It would be if there's a child protection issue, or.
Is that common? Does that happen often, and why? Why is that happening? How do they get involved in the court system, the Gypsy Travelers? Because you must have to deal with that here in your stories. What is going on with that? Because the solicitors told me they often have to deal with Roma Gypsies in the county court, and that they don't know the language, so there's this problem where they don't know how to handle the cases, and they're trying to create. The solicitor said they're trying to make a law that they're trying to get interpreters. Mm-hmm. What is their language? She said it was Czechoslovakian, though, she said.
That would be Roma travellers. So they're the European travellers, or the ones that come over from Europe and settled here or travelling here. So there are quite a lot of Romanian travellers that have influx in the last couple of years. But British travellers will speak British, but they'll have Roma words. They have Romany words that. There is a whole Bromley language, but it has died out. It has begun to die out because it's not written down anywhere. Because it's certainly older generations of travellers can't read and write, so it's not written down anywhere. So it's and it is beginning to die out. I think because traveller children are now going to schools, they're integrating more within society, and they're moving away from some of them, not all of them. Some of them are moving away from that traditional lifestyle. So, but there's the odd word that comes up, the odd, like I would be called a gorger because I'm a non-traveller, and that gorger is non-traveller. So there are common words that are used, but as a whole language, it's very rare now for someone just to speak the Romany language.
Have you ever had anyone from other countries that, like Italy or anything like that, coming to that are travelers? Italian? I'm curious.
I'm not sure about Italian. We've had a few from Romania, Slovakia. I'm not sure exactly where everyone has come from. It's not
so from all over then.
Yeah.
Truly, they're gypsies. Truly. Do they feel? Do they not like the word gypsy? Do they feel it's a bad word?
Well,
how do they feel about the word gypsy?
It's interesting. I think it's many people, especially Romany travellers, many of the clients that are here are very proud of that term because it's their heritage. But I am hearing more and more people who don't like that word because they find it offensive now. Irish travellers won't use the word gypsy because gypsy is more a Romany traveller word. So the Irish travellers are Irish travellers. That's why it's gypsy and traveller. You know, it's because they're two. There are many groups of travellers within the umbrella traveller community. So yeah, they're.
So basically, so you're saying the Irish adopted the traveller term, and the Roma gypsy is the gypsy term is from Roma, but the traveller is more from the Irish adopted it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Interesting. I was curious about that.
Yeah.
They're pushing that word. I guess it's a more user-friendly word. It's a more PC, politically correct term, a traveller.
Yeah, traveller, yeah.
And what are they living? What are these trailers? Where are they getting these trailers from?
Some own them, some rent them. There are companies that rent the travellers, the caravans, trailers. There's they can claim housing benefit. Many travellers who are on benefits can claim housing benefit to pay for the site rent, and then claim more housing benefit to pay for their trailer. So they can rent them, and that. But yeah.
Do they ever want to leave and go to London, which is much more developed than Bromley? Why are they staying in Bromley? This is a suburb.
Absolutely, it's because of the lack of sites, authorised sites. I think if they opened enough sites, they would all travel around. But if they leave their plots, that's it. They won't get it back. So then they'll be forced to live in a house somewhere because they'll have nowhere else to go. So once they've got their plots, that's where they stay.
What are the communities like in there? Since I won't be going inside the community, what is that like? Do they have festivities? Do they? I mean, they must have families. Do all the families get? What the heck? What is that? What is socially? What is that like? That little.
It's very close knit. It's families. Whole families live in different trailers and different plots. But yeah, they're very close. Where non-travellers will have maybe half a dozen cousins, they will have hundreds of cousins. You know, many of the clients that we have here are related to every other client that lives here, that comes here, and finding these connections, it's fascinating. Like, I could be sitting here with somebody who I've known for a year and then find out that they're cousins with somebody else that I've known for a year and had no idea, because these families are so huge and they're so interconnected through marriage, and they're just, it's fascinating. But certainly within the sites, it's very, very close community.
Melissa, you're incredible how you're helping me understand all this. I didn't understand. In 15, 20 minutes, this should be on you should really have a web presence. This stuff is not online, what you're telling me. Yeah, you guys should really do a free website. There's no gypsies there.
No, not at all.
No, this is a unique thing here.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you have like a slightly romanticised
you said Roma? My vision of it?
Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, honestly, it's sad, but it's from what you see in the movies.
Yeah.
It's sad. I even saw 2 weeks ago this movie, the famous classic horror movie, The Wolfman.
Right.
And it's a gypsy. They're traveling gypsies who they have this curse where this guy turns into a wolf. So this is what we've been taught, and so society, I think in general, even probably here in England, right? This is probably they're freak weirdos who travel around and they're scared. Do they have a religion, by the way? Say it again?
Magic.
Do they have a religion? What's up with religion and all of that?
They're Catholic, seems to be, especially with the Irish travellers. Many of them are Roman Catholic.
But the Roma gypsies, what
I think many of them do go to church. Many of them are Christian, rather than Catholic these days, I would say. But that's not. They don't often talk about religion. But that's kind of that's where they'd go. Yeah.
Now, see, even though you said that the origin was in Indian, I did find that online. Yeah. They're still Christian, so they're not a Buddhist and they're not Muslim.
No.
Wow.
No, they don't tend to be. No, I've never met a Muslim.
What's going on with how they sit here and then you have to what do you people like you in this job with what are you guys doing for them? What do you guys do with them, this organization?
Well, we have many of our clients are on benefits.
If I make a video for you, by the way, start it off. Let's do this as almost like a promo intro. Like basically, the Gypsy Traveller Project does what?
Our main job here is to help with welfare. So many of our clients are on benefits. So helping them to access housing benefit, disability benefits, child tax credits for families with children. That's really what we do mainly.
Generally, how much do they get? They get in New York when we help people with welfare money. They get Medicaid. They'll get a card, EBT card, it's called.
Right.
And then every month they'll have a couple of $100 for spending and food stamps, a certain amount allotted. What for particularly with the Gypsy Travelers? What do they get? Generally speaking, monthly money for food. Do they get a card? What happens with this?
No, there's not. We don't have food stamps here, or we do, but not for British citizens. They can claim British welfare benefits. There aren't food stamps. There are many benefits, and actually it's changing quite recently. The changes started. So
explain that. What are the changes?
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
So we've got child tax credit. We've got income support, job seekers allowance, which is for people looking for work. We've got employment support allowance, which is for people who are with disabilities who can't work. Many housing benefit, council tax benefits, and then we've got disability living allowance, personal independent payments. So all these, there are many benefits. The current government are putting all these benefits together, and apart from the disability living allowance and the personal independent payment, and putting them into universal credit. So it would be one benefit for all of it now. So depending on a person's circumstances, if they have children, if they have disabilities, if they can work, will depend on how much money they have, how many children they have. That will all depend on how much money they get and they're entitled to. But a single parent with 3 children may get, I don't know, probably about £250 a week for child tax credit, and then they'll get child benefit, which is
how much did you say?
Maybe £250.
That's not bad.
No, for them and 3 children. It's not bad in some parts of the country. Around here, it's because we're London, and we've got London prices. That may not necessarily get them very far, but there's housing benefit, certainly child benefit, because most people are entitled to child benefit.
Now this welfare, this is a special welfare that's allotted for Gypsy Travelers.
No, this is for anyone.
Yeah. So there's probably discrimination when it comes to that.
Yeah, there can be. There's at the moment one of the. It's not direct, but it's indirect discrimination. Is they need to be paid into a bank now, and it used to be post office accounts. Now it's bank accounts. But some travellers trying to set up bank accounts is really hard because they may not have birth certificates, having the idea they have passports or driving licences, and so they don't have the correct identification to open a bank account, and then but they still need to get their benefit money. So that's a problem we're having.
Right, but why do they have to open a bank account? The government's saying you have to open up a bank account in order for what?
For the money to be paid in. That it used to be that
they're saying we'll give you the funds, but you have to have a bank account because the new law is it goes directly deposited to the banks, and then the catch is, so then organizations like you will step in and help them set up a bank account or something?
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully we're having a big sign up in a few weeks. Somebody from the local bank will come here, and many of our clients could come and sign up.
You know what? One thing helps another. So in a way, it'll help. A certain bank will take the lead. Wow, that's smart on the bank's part.
Absolutely. Before we lost our funding, we had.
Why did you leave your funding?
Why did we lose it? Just because so many organisations lost their funding. We're just a small charity, and the funds are spent somewhere else.
From
So
the government, though. This is funding from the government, right?
Central government funds the local governments, the local authorities, and they choose where the funding goes. So the local government are the ones that cut our funding, but it does filter back to central government, who cut the original funding to the local areas.
Have you ever had a situation or heard situations where a gypsy traveler is having a problem with a solicitor, with the courts, and how did you handle that? And tell me about, like, how do you deal with that? Do you sit down with a solicitor or don't even talk to them? What's up with the court? The courts is what I'm getting at.
I haven't, although there have been people. The population of traveller men within the prison system is very high. It's disproportionate to any other minority group within Britain. There are more traveller men to travellers than there are any other group. So it's very, very high. But this is not. We don't give legal advice. We don't understand the legal advice. We're not legally trained. So they're going
to prison for what? What are they doing?
There are many things. Fighting, anything from fighting and violence to.
Is there a lot of? Is there a lot of? What did you say?
Some robberies.
Oh, robberies. Is there a lot of alcoholism, substance abuse, drugs in that community? And if so, which, I guess, alcohol? What is the prevalence you see the most?
Yeah, there's drugs. Seems to be, from what we're hearing, seems to be on the increase, especially with young traveller men on hard drugs. And I think that's because this part of South London there are more drugs available.
What are we talking? When we say hard, you talk about heroin? What are we talking about?
Yeah, heroin.
Cocaine? Is that what we're talking? You didn't say crack, did you?
Yeah.
There's crack here?
Yeah.
I thought that was a New York thing. Wow.
No.
I thought that was New York.
No.
There's not K2 here yet, is there? In New York, we're dealing with the crisis is K2. That's the big synthetic marijuana. It's people are killing themselves, killing people on it. It's like the new PCP, synthetic marijuana, and it's legal.
Really?
Yeah. So what they're doing is they're selling it in the stores, and they're putting tobacco, and they're putting synthetic chemicals on it, and people are smoking it because they can't afford cigarettes and marijuana. They sell the bag $3-4, and they're going crazy. These people, and we're dealing with them. We're having schizophrenics put into hospitals and committing suicide a lot now because of this K2, and they have to de-legal. They have to take it off the market. It's not illegal yet. Certain states, New Jersey just made it illegal, but New York hasn't yet.
And has that helped the people buying it? Is that less people buying it, or is it just moved on to the black market now?
No, but it's not black market because they're selling it in every corner store now.
Yeah,
they put these goofy little. They put like SpongeBob SquarePants cartoons on the bags.
Oh wow!
And they give it different names. Goofy Goop. They'll do stuff like that. People buy it and they get high on the weekend, and they end up. We hear they're hanging themselves on fences. It makes them crazy. I've had clients I've known for 10 years who have gotten into a violent rampage, and I've had to help out to get them hospitalized. Oh. Yeah. So anyway, with crack, so there's crack here. But what about alcohol? Alcohol must be big.
Yeah,
big here.
Yeah, alcohol's big. But then I think. British culture is we drink a lot of alcohol anyway. I think that's not an uncommon thing to happen in any family. Well, some families, but we have. So that's quite socially acceptable.
But with the courts and the solicitors, that's what they call them here, right? Lawyers or solicitors, they call them. Yeah. So with solicitors in the courts, you're talking about the males will have to deal with that more. But what about families? And they according to when I interviewed the solicitors about the Roma Gypsies, they said they're in court all the time with them, and usually they can't afford a solicitor because this was a private Thacker and something was this organization. They say usually gypsies can't afford them, and then they try to get a public defender, and then they don't know the language, and it's what you must have heard these stories, and usually have to do with families. They said that there's a lot of abuse, physical abuse, unless they're just inventing domestic. They said domestic violence was a big issue.
It's huge.
Oh, see, it's huge. Talk about that. That's huge then.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's I've
What do you mean huge? They're hitting the kids, or they're hitting the wives, or what's going on?
wives, male to female domestic violence is high amongst traveller communities, and there's big culture within the communities not to report this to the police, but also again it's another service in Bromley that has been cut. So when we do know of cases of domestic violence, it's very hard to, and if they won't report that to the police, it's very hard to get them the support that they need, because the domestic violence services within this borough are no longer, there's been cuts. The ones that do exist are on bare bones because most of their funding has been cut. It's very, very hard times at the moment for any charity around here, but domestic violence is a huge problem within the community.
Have you had people come with black eyes and everything like that?
Yeah.
And you don't blame it on the substance abuse? You think it's just so?
No,
what do you mean? Is it because the stressors of?
It's very I'm not saying this for all travellers, because as I said, it's things are changing and travellers are evolving and they're becoming more integrated within the rest of society. But certainly traditional travellers, that live traditional lifestyles, it's very much the woman in the home, cleaning, raising the children, the man goes up to work. It's very much that family dynamic, and the violence from men to women, it's a very, very long history of that, and it's gone through generations and generations, and it's quite accepted in a way that it's not so accepted in the rest of society. It can be accepted within the traveller communities, and because they're so isolated, these women get trapped in this cycle where they can't escape, because they can't call the police, they can't leave their community, they can't come to the rest of society, they don't trust the rest of society, the services are cut. So it becomes very, other than just living their lives in these situations, there's very little they can do, and it's hard to change that cycle. It's very hard to change that cycle.
How often do the police go visit the site? Do they have to go? Do they get called, or how often do they have police presence there? Another service that's been cut in this borough is the police service. All across the UK. But we have a certain amount of police officers to the Bromley Borough, and the highest number of police to come to any area is this area. So you will see more police around this area than any other area in Bromley, because crime is higher here. This is a very deprived area. This is, but Bromley is an incredibly rich borough, one of the richest London boroughs, and yet this is one of the most deprived areas. It's certainly in London. What is this area called?
Mary Cray.
Mary Cray?
St Mary Cray.
Saint Mary Cray?
Yeah.
So Saint Mary Cray is almost, one could say, it's like the ghetto of Bromley in a way?
I would say that was fair.
So it's unsafe even for anyone to be walking around at night around St Mary Cray? What happens here? When people get stabbed, they get robbed? What?
I think it's more the poverty level in this area is high.
But the police are coming because of what?
Because
what's happening?
There's domestics, there is drugs. There's a lot of drugs in this area that's recent. I mean, this is all. This is just from what I've heard.
Sure, yeah, of course, yeah.
Set in stone statistics, but there are, there's.
I didn't know this. So St Mary Cray would be a deprived area of Bromley, because Bromley is known for wealth and money. I was at Chislehurst. I couldn't believe it. Looked like mansions there.
Absolutely, and yet next to Chislehurst you've got Mottingham, which is it sort of borders Bromley, and it's and that's very poverty stricken, and that's a very poor area.
What's it called?
Mottingham.
Mottingham.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's very poor, and then there's the Crays, which is
You know why I chose Bromley as a focus for my study is because a lot of the bands, Billy Idol, Susie Sue and the Banshees, David Bowie, they all came from Bromley. Mm-hmm. So I was fascinated, but I always thought Bromley was. I'm in the Bronx, so I thought Bromley was an urban city with music. It's not. It's a wealthy suburb. I couldn't believe it.
Very wealthy, yeah. So
Susie from the Susie and Banshees, she's from Chislehurst.
Yeah.
And when I went there yesterday to see the caves,
Yeah.
yeah, I did. It made sense to me how these people, like Susie, came from, because basically they're rich kids who had nothing going on there. They probably got on the tube, went into London, the city, and got into the music scene because they were so bored and wealthy. They were like rich, spoiled brats. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Did you know about that? That they were from Bromley?
Yeah, we know. Yeah, very proud. But yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
that's cool. That's cool.
That's,
Do you have more coffee? Is it?
yeah, of course. I'll do more coffee.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're brave
Wow.
for drinking it.
Yeah. Oh, stop. I'm brave for drinking it. To inspire the kids to keep going to school and educate themselves?
Yeah, no, we used to do a homework club here.
Oh, I used to do a homework club for the. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's so amazing. What about gardening?
Yes.
This is a mess. They need to clean that up.
We do need to do something about that. Yeah, we've asked a few people to do it. Because it's a shame. Once that scaffolding's gone, it'd be nice to have a little table and chairs out there in the summer.
Who is this? Is he a worker?
This is James. He is the veteran of the project.
The veteran?
He's been here for.
Wait, so this is interesting. So you're saying so the gypsies have a lot of animals?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
This is cool.
No, sorry, no, not veterinarian veteran. He's
Oh, veteran. He's a veterinarian.
No, he's been here for forever. So if you speak to many of the clients, they'll call, rather than the Traveller Project, they'll call this James's office, and
Wow.
and many of them will come in and just see James.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's been a few years.
Who's the director? Is there a director? Is it?
Yeah, there's a manager, Frances.
She's like the boss.
She's the
Okay.
manager of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but she does what we all do.
Tell me about the animals. And they have a lot of what? Cats, dogs, fish. What is their animal? What's up with that? The animals must get sick. How do you deal with it? Tell me about this.
They have many dogs, many horses, especially up at the site. There's.
I'm going to see horses up there.
Possibly. Horses. Yeah, you'll see a lot of dogs.
They have horses.
Yeah.
For what? That's their car. They still use horses, and they go.
No. They're just. It's just tradition. They have a lot of pets.
Tradition. Okay.
Yeah. So, with the animals.
How do they take care of horses? That costs a lot to maintain a horse. How do they do it?
They they put them in the.
Is that tea?
There. Yes.
What kind of tea is it?
Oh, just normal.
That's cool.
English tea.
You're a tea person.
I am a tea person. Yes.
Milk? You put milk in there? Oh,
English tea.
that's cool. That's cool. Do you live in Mary Cray or no? You travel all the way out here?
No, I live in Mary Cray.
Wow. So even though you're saying it's deprived, you're okay living here.
Yeah, I've always lived here. I was born around here. So.
Wow. So this is home. This is you. So you've really seen, as a child even, you've seen the crisis of the.
I've got childhood friends that are travellers that I'm still friends with. Yeah.
Wow.
But that's quite unique to living around here because. So when I'm doing my degree and I'm talking to people who live in other parts of London, would never have met a traveller. So I talk quite matter-of-factly about travellers, and because I've known them all my life, and yet I could speak to somebody who lives half an hour down the road who's never met a traveller.
So they stay a lot in St. Mary's Cray then, right? But you're calling them travelers. So has it gotten to the point you would say that a gypsy is people you could refer to them as a traveler, and that's okay? The Irish don't get angry if they're referring to a Roma gypsy as a traveler. They understand that it's a general term.
Gypsy traveller is that's a general term.
It's a general term now. They're okay with it.
Yeah, nobody has that.
But do the Irish and the Romas live together over there in that site? They're close, or they have their separate? They must have their separate.
There have been historically. There've been.
You have to get that.
No, it's okay. No, it's not the shame.
Do they? So they historically, but what about now? Where are they living in separate areas? What's going on with that?
There are Irish sites and Romany sites. There are mixed sites, more and more now. And that's really just because.
Are they interbreeding? Are they mixing up now? Are they having children that are?
Absolutely,
That happens.
absolutely. But I think that's more because of the lack of authorised sites. So necessity, they all live on the sites are becoming mixed with Roma and Irish. But historically, no, they're very, very separate, and there have been big problems between the Romany and the Irish travellers.
In what way?
They are not big fans of each other.
So what would be
now.
what would be a big problem? Give me an example of a big problem.
Well, fights.
But like gang fight?
Yeah.
Whoa! They did family wars? This is amazing. I want to hear this. This is almost like Romeo and Juliet. You've heard of it? Did you have to deal with any family wars?
I haven't dealt with any personally, but I know people who can't go to certain areas because that family has coined that area, and that's still exists.
Family wars.
Yeah.
Over what?
It could be anything, over marriage, it's very Romeo and Juliet actually. Yeah, that's a really good analogy. Yeah, no, it's
Now there's no incest, is there, with this? Or have social workers gotten involved because they're saying there's incest? Just because obviously if they're mixing together, one cousin's other, there must be. Is that an issue? The incest with the gypsies, or do people just assume that?
Historically, yes. Less so now.
That's factual. You're saying historically that's factual, but now it's.
Yeah.
But if they're going to church and stuff, they must have feel a stigma about that.
Absolutely. I think there's. It doesn't happen so much now, but it's because the communities were so small and so isolated, and when they travelled and they didn't.
It only makes sense. They're gonna within amongst themselves.
Yeah.
But brothers and sisters, that's pretty intense. That's
I know.
close.
I know. I'm
Cousins,
brothers and
okay.
sisters, maybe cousins, and that's very common.
What about if they're communities? Then what happens when someone has a child that's has a mental problem, either mental illness or some kind of disability? What happens with that? What hospitals help them, especially if they need constant monthly care? What goes on with that?
There's we have the NHS, so
you have what?
So we have the NHS. The National
I don't know what that is.
That's the National Health Service. So we don't have medical insurance like you do in America.
Oh, so they can go to a hospital and get help, is what you're saying?
It's free. Yeah, it's free medical.
And but there's not a discrimination when it comes to gypsies and travelers dealing with health issues. You don't hear any complaints about that.
No,
Is there a hospital here, St. Mary Cray?
There's a hospital in Sidcup, which is the next town along, Queen Mary's, and then there's Princess Royal Hospital in Farnborough, so right near to where you're staying actually, because you're staying near Bromley Common, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just down from there. There's a huge hospital.
What do you know? What is tell me a story that you've heard or know of a story where they've told you a disappointment they've had dealing with a court thing with the kids or the family, where they went to family court. I guess they would have in New York. It's family court. I don't know. Here they have the Bromley County Court.
Yeah.
That deal with family issues.
Yeah,
that is kind of like the family court.
Yeah.
You must have heard stories where it didn't work out for them. Is it because of the language, or what happened with that? How do the courts, and what are the stories you hear between them and the Bromley County Court, which is where they have to go, right? They have to go up there, even though they're in St. Mary Cray.
For family law, they'd go to county court. For criminal law, it'd be the magistrate.
No, family law. What are the stories you hear? When there's disappointment, what's going on? Their kids are removed because the solicitor says the kids or the fathers are removed sometimes from the situation.
Absolutely, if there's domestic violence or drug abuse, that could be the case. But it's because of the child laws we have in this country, the Children's Act.
I don't know what that is. Tell me about this. Explain what it is.
So the onus is on family, on parental responsibility. So first instance would be social workers, social services moving in to support the family, right? Unless there's a risk of significant harm to the child, then the child will be removed. But
But what's the Children's Act? What is specifically is the Children's Act doing?
It protects the rights of the children, and it's to the idea is to support families rather than taking children out of the families. If that family can be supported and then those child protection issues are no longer, then the child can stay there. So social workers want to help. That's what the idea is, to help the family. So a child is not taken into care, not taken into foster care. That's a last resort. If there's family members that can have that child, they will. So what you find with travellers, but also with the rest of society, is if a child is taken out of a family home because of domestic violence, because of drug abuse, because of mental health issues, they are likely to be put with the aunts or the uncle or another family member, and certainly within traveller communities that happens. So some people can have many children who are actually their cousins' children, and that butts back to this community feel anyway within sight. So it's not necessarily just mum, dad and child, it's a community. It's a community of raising children. They're all being raised together. Within courts, if a child needs to be removed from that family, they may still be on the site just with a different family member.
Oh, so they could still be near their kids. Yeah, but that could still create problems, right? The parents want to be with their child. I guess they could quietly let the kids stay with them, and who's going to know anyway?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's usually things put in place, but
the solicitors say also sometimes the women are trying to get away, even though you said it's rare. The solicitor told me sometimes the woman is trying to get away from the man who's abusive, and they'll break the family up and send the man. The man will go back to his native country. Have you heard of this?
No. What usually happens, because it's a bit of a backward system, is that if the woman leaves the family home with her children for domestic violence protection, she will be moved out of the borough. She will be, unless she presses charges and he goes to prison, it's more likely that she will be moved far away for her protection. But actually that means that she's giving up her family, her community, her identity, and being moved halfway across the bloody country. And it's a terrible thing to happen, and for the children as well who have grown up on sites. And that is why many women end up back in the situation, because they have to leave everything behind, everything that they know, all their traditions, and be uprooted and moved God knows where.
If they're trying to get away from an abusive situation and the court deems it to be legitimate, you're saying, then they would have. So in order to not have that loss, you're saying that they would tolerate the abuse. Is that what you mean happens?
Yeah, absolutely. If they haven't, ideally they'd press charges, call the police, press charges, and then the man, I'm saying man, could be either, but it's usually men to women in traffic communities, could be put in prison, or then get restraining orders so they can't go back to the site, and then the woman can stay on that site and be protected. But these women, many of them don't press charges, so they don't call the police. So to get the help that they need, it means often moving them outside the borough, outside the area.
You've seen that happen? Yeah,
we've seen that happen. Yeah, and often it doesn't last very long before the woman and her children are back, because everything she knows is within that community, and then just being thrown into society to survive, it's too hard for them. Yeah, and also if they do press charges, then not in all cases, but in some cases they can then, because they've gone down the route of calling the police, the family then disown them. They don't want to know. You've got the police involved in family business, and then so the woman ends up isolated again by the family because of the route she's taken to get protection. So domestic violence happens, and it's kind of, ignored or allowed to happen, and it's a really hard cycle to break, to get the women to realise that they have the right to live lives without fear, without violence, and these men do not have the right to do this to them. And it's very hard. It's very hard to get that message across because there are so many barriers.
What do they do for culturally? What would be festivity? Do they have like a certain day that they all get together and have a big party over there, a big carnival? Do they? Is there? What? How do they celebrate? What's their holiday?
Same
like anybody else,
yeah,
but they must have something special to them.
They have. It's not necessarily an annual event, but although there are annual events. They have, it's like a traveller elder dies, and they have the funeral. That's quite an event, a traveller elder funeral. There was one quite recently, and these funerals can cost upwards of £100,000. They're insane. The travellers come from all over the country. All the roads get closed off. They are huge events. But there are things like Appleby, which is it's a big fair that happens that travellers from all over go to. It's just for travellers, so they can go and mix, they can go and socialise, they can, and it happens once a year for about 3 days. I can't remember where it is now. I think it's up north somewhere. I'm not sure where. But yeah, that's one event that many traveller people go to. But those sort of things.
Have you been invited to any of them? Have you gone to any of them?
I haven't. No, I haven't. James, who's in the photo there, he goes to any of the funerals. He goes to
funerals.
These big traveller funerals.
And you're saying it's festive, the funeral?
So
that's like by the way, that's like the Wolfman movie. The funeral was a big party they had, and so they were accurate about that then.
Yeah.
They carry the tomb, and so they celebrate the life of the person, correct? What are they doing?
They have absolutely. I think because.
So when someone dies, the funeral is a festive one.
Yes. Yeah. To a degree, I'd say that was true. They're certainly very big. So travellers from all over the country may come to, even whether they know each other or not particularly, or they're related somehow, they'll all come to this funeral. So you can have thousands and thousands of people at a funeral of a traveller elder, and thousands of pounds, tens and tens of thousands of pounds are spent on flowers and cars, and it's all very. Sometimes these people, the people who have died, have lived their whole life in absolute poverty, and yet their funerals go, and everyone has put money together to have a massive funeral. And so there's certainly an element where you go, if you're just giving that person that money, they'd have lived a really nice life. But that's the way they do it.
The family elders. So the interesting irony is they live long lives. Yes.
The life expectancy of a traveller is shorter than any other.
What is the life expectancy? 50, 60?
I think early 60s. Early 60s for a man. I think mid 60s for a woman.
Natural causes or cancer? Do they have cancer a lot?
Usually, it could be heart related. There's quite a lot of heart, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, just dietary. But also the way they live their lives, it could be hard lives. If they're living in trailers, it's cold during the winter. It's cold, and
It's cold in there.
Very cold. Yeah, very very cold. Yeah. British winters can be harsh, and
even in the snow, they just bundle up in that trailer with no heat, and then sometimes the toilet's not working.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they have heaters, but the cost of heating them can be expensive. And
do they make outhouses? What if the plumbing's not working? They make outhouses.
There are outhouses.
Right now, there's outhouses even today.
There are. Many do.
They'll just dig a hole and.
No, many do have outhouses. Up at the site near here they do, if they get planning permission for it. Many travellers won't have toilets within their trailers, so they're usually outside. And their shower facilities and things are often outside.
Showers, you said?
Yeah.
What is their diet? What do they eat?
They eat a lot of fatty foods.
Like?
A lot of fried foods.
That they make themselves, or they go out and buy it? They make like hamburgers, hot dogs. What are they eating?
Yeah. There's they
junk. You're saying junk food then, in a way.
They do. Many do. Yeah.
Is there a staple in their diet? Or they?
Not. I don't think not so much anymore. Again, it's historically they were hunters, so there'd be a lot of rabbits or things like that, hedgehogs. But
still, they'll eat that.
Yeah, they will, but I don't. That's not their staple anymore.
But what about tea? Do they drink tea? Do they have coffee or tea?
It's a bit of both.
Bit of both.
Yeah, like most Brits. Yeah.
What about clothes? What are they wearing?
Normal clothes. Normal. Yeah.
Do they go shopping at the thrift store? Do they get what do they do for clothes?
They they dress normally.
But then when you think of a gypsy, you think of the headscarf. Is that
traditional?
Is that nonsense?
It's not nonsense, but
they do that.
But you don't see it anymore. Historically, but not anymore.
Even with the elder women, with the elders, no. Oh wow.
No.
They wear boots though. I mean, they're always out in the mud, right?
They dress like anybody else. They'll wear a tracksuit and no trainers, or just normal clothes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you have regulars here? Do you must have people that come here all the time? This must be at my clinic, I work in a clinic, you have people that they just feel like it's home, and so they'll come all the time. They come, but you're not open every day here, huh?
We're not open every day,
Is it Monday and Thursdays or something like that?
Wednesday, Thursday.
Why? Why is that? Only 2 days?
Because,
I know it's funding, I hear you, but is this...
afford the bills. We've got no money for the bills.
What do you mean bills? The electricity bills? Yeah?
Electricity, gas, heating, yeah.
So you shut it all down when you're not here?
We have to, yeah.
Oh, wow.
We have nothing left. We're right down to...
But because I imagine you could get volunteers to work for free, correct?
We do work for free. We've all gone down...
Even you?
Yeah, we all work for free.
Oh my God.
Even my manager and James...
You work for free?
Yeah.
God bless you. Wow.
But there's no money.
You do it just for the love of it, huh?
Absolutely.
Incredible.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Have you had a situation with a client? You call them clients? What do you call them?
We call them clients.
So have you ever had a situation with a client where they are very difficult and you have to get rid of them, or you can't or move the case to somebody else, or you've never had someone intrusive? My job, you have certain clients. I want to be with so-and-so worker. I don't feel comfortable with this person. Do you get that stuff or not really?
Absolutely. I think, yeah. We not very often. We get it from... There are some older travellers who will only work with James because he's been here for forever, which is fine, and that's absolutely fine. As far as
you seem like everybody loves James. He's just like a nice guy. Yeah, that comes across, right? Even you like him.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. Yeah, it's as far as volatile behaviour goes with our clients, that's very rare. It doesn't.
But as you're a woman, do you get sexism? Do you get men being sexist towards you or anything like that?
Occasionally, but you can. Yeah, most people.
You're laid back. You can let it bounce right off of you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they've all got a good sense of humour. They're very few
cool.
that find it funny to just...
Well, how do you communicate with them if they don't... now a lot of them know the English or close enough of it, right? You don't ever get any that don't know the language?
No.
Most of them know English?
No. Oh, they all know English.
So then why did the solicitor say there's this language barrier? What is that?
I think he's...
That was
dramatic. I think
so that was nonsense. Oh my God. Then why would the solicitor say they were trying to create a law to have a translator in the Bromley County Court? That was nonsense?
The traveller accent, certainly around here with the Romany travellers, they speak very quickly and they'll use the old traveller words. Some people it can be quite hard to understand some people who speak really, really quickly, and it's like this all the time.
English, but just really fast. It's
just
so it's hard to
very,
understand
very
what they're
fast.
saying. So that's where the translator may
I
come
think
in.
so.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I've never met anyone who speaks Romany as their first language. It's a dying language, so they all speak.
It's called Romy, right? It would be called Romy.
Yeah. So they're because they're British. The travellers around here mainly are.
What is their citizenship? Is it hard for them to get? They could get British citizenship.
Yeah. In fact, it's harder to be accepted as a traveller or a gypsy as a ethnic minority because it's often not seen as an ethnic minority. So a few years ago we had a politician who was saying that if a traveller didn't travel within 6 months, then they'd lose their gypsy status, which is absolute rubbish because you can't, how can you take somebody's identity away from them?
It didn't work. That he was trying to make a law.
No, it didn't work. No, but he certainly tried it. And also, because of the laws in this country, it means that travellers can't travel because there's nowhere to travel to, not legally. So therefore,
that's the Traveller Act. That's what that's called, the Travellers Act, the one that they can't move legally. What is that act called?
There's the Caravan Sites Act. That
says you have this space. We're giving you this, but you can't. You gotta stay there.
Yeah, it's on the face of it sounds like it's a protective act, but it's not really because you have things like the amendments to that act are things like travellers have the right to buy their own land and get planning permission and create their own traveller site. So that sounds great, except firstly, many travellers live in poverty, so they can't buy their own lands, and also 90% of planning permission is refused. So it doesn't happen anyway. So that part of the act is just pointless. And also the original act meant that every local authority had to say how many travellers places how many plots they needed and provide that. But because it was down to the local authority and they didn't want travellers in their area, they'd turn around and say, we haven't got any. Okay, fine. Then you don't need to supply any. So actually what happened was travellers that were already in the area then were moved on because they've said it's now black and white that they don't need any plots within that area. So travellers off their plots. So once you've got a authorised site and authorised plots, once you're on it, you stay on it and you don't move because you can't afford to lose that plot. You end up with living without outside the law because you can't camp anywhere, and then eventually live within a house or a flat.
Have they tried to move into houses and stuff?
Yeah. Most travellers do live within houses now. You have more travellers within houses and flats than in
people's houses or their own houses.
Their own houses because
so they got enough money to pay rent.
Yeah, well, unless they're on benefits and then they'll get housing benefits.
They'll get some kind of job. So some people in Bromley, they become a little more open. Well, they'll hire them for, even if it's a McDonald's job or something. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's good.
I think
that's cool. So things are looking up then in a way.
Absolutely, but I think it's certainly if they live in a house. I think once they've got to write down their address and they live on a traveller site, that makes it harder. Employers won't. Legally, they're not allowed to say they won't employ that person because they live on a traveller site, but that does happen. And also names, because there are huge families of travellers within this area, certain family names are well known, and if a person has that name, then again it's harder for them to get a job within the area.
If the name is stained.
Yeah. Or just known as a traveller name.
Oh my God! So that's the discrimination you were saying.
Absolutely, but
every site has a different name. I mean, what is that? Like the one down the street, what would that be called? Is it? And when they fill out an application for a job, they would write so and so site.
Plot, whatever.
They write that plots.
Yeah. That's
so what is that one called? I'm just curious.
That's Star Lane site up the road from here.
It's called Star Lane site.
Because the road is Star Lane.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so it's not plot, it's Star Lane site.
And then they've got plots, so their plot will have a number, so it's just like a house number or a flat number. their plot will have a nice, they'll be plot.
But once they write plot on the application, they quietly will be
Yeah.
denied. They'll be like, oh.
Plot, whatever, Starlane Caravan.
But can they get mail? They'll get mail at the plot? So the postman will go to their...
Yeah, usually, although
What do you mean usually? What happens?
There's been a few times where he's been chased by dogs, so he won't go on the site. But
So what's up with the dogs? There's a lot of wild dogs running
there's
around?
a lot. Well, there's a lot of animals up on the site.
Are you
because
scared when you go there? Are you going to get bit
I
by a
haven't been
dog?
there very often, but no, I don't. No, because I love, I love dogs, and I'm fine, and I know many of the people live on the site. So
Why do you not go there often if you work with them?
because they come here, because it's the project used to be do a lot of outreach work and go to people's homes, but for purposes of self-determination and trying to build their autonomy, we've asked for many of the clients to come here instead, because they're making a positive step to their own, to controlling their own lives, rather than us going out and saying, right, okay, well, we can do everything for you. If they make that the effort to come here, then that's something that they've done, that they know they can do. They know they can access the service, because the service hasn't gone to them, they've gone to the service. And so, although this is a traveller service, there are many other services that it may benefit them to access. So it's that little bit, those little steps, and it's worked really well. It has worked.
What, you've been here for 18 months, you said. What were you working before this, in the social services? You're a natural social worker, by the way. Yeah, you're born, wow.
Before here I worked in...
this kind of work? This line of work? Something else then?
Very, very different.
So this is your first venture into social work type work.
Yeah, no, I've always worked in the care field for many years, and I worked at a contact centre.
What is that?
A family contact centre. So
what is that?
For children to visit parents who are separated. There may be parents with certain...
That's like a visit, what do you call it in the States, in New York? It's like a supervised visitation.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're watching, and the parent can't be with the kids, so you supervise that they have a contact access. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's like
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. But that was there's lots of policy, lots of laws. That that work was very regimented. Paperwork had to be because you would deal with court papers. And it's all very serious.
Sure.
Whereas here, because there's no funding, there's plenty of clients, so it's kind of
social work. How many clients are there that come here? About
roughly about 1,000 clients we have here.
All from Starlane?
Oh no!
From
so
all over?
Yeah.
They'll travel and how will they'll travel?
Well, Starlane is just one very, very small area of travellers. There's the whole of Mary Cray. It was said they have the highest population of Romany travellers.
Wait, St. Mary Cray has the highest population?
Yeah.
Of Roma travellers?
Yeah, in the UK.
In the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. And then just outside the borough...
Cray, C-R-A-Y, right?
Yeah.
Wow. What does Cray stand for, by the way?
The River Cray.
Say it again?
The River Cray. If you walk down...
There's a river here?
Yeah,
I want to see it.
Yeah, walk straight down. It's beautiful.
I can't wait to see it.
There's a river that runs all the way through Mary Cray and Paul's Cray, and up to Foot's Cray, and eventually to the Thames.
Is it it's not a far walk?
No, not at all. No.
If you're not busy, maybe you could walk. You can show me. Or are you super busy?
Yeah, I can show you. I can point you.
Take me a little walk in the direction. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
I'll show you which way to go.
Let me use the bath. I drank so much coffee; it was delicious. Let me use the bathroom. Then maybe give me a quick tour. This is like one last question I want to ask you, because I'm curious: is what are you guys? What is the organizations dealing with now as far as changes that you guys have to struggle against, or new policies being implemented? What's going on right now with the travelers that has put a red light bulb where you guys have to work towards either not letting that move forward or to protect the travelers from the policy? What's going on?
I think mainly it's benefit cuts. There are a lot of.
But you said that's overall. It's not even just specifically, so it's not discriminatory towards them.
No,
So it's general. So that's like even in New York.
Absolutely, it's certainly general. But when you have travellers, many of whom can't read and write, they can't set up bank accounts, as I said.
Many of them can't read or write?
Many, certainly the older ones. So from...
Oh, wow. That's wow.
Yeah. So it's...
Can you guys don't set up like training to teach them and you do the homework thing? You don't do like a reading thing?
Yeah, we did. We had...
In New York we have that too, by the way, that problem.
Yeah.
A lot of and GED program, they don't have a degree, wow.
Yeah, no, we did. We had a lot of courses.
You said the elders, you called them?
Traveller elders, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But we used to run a lot of courses here, either here or through here. So with so the local boards and things, and it was for everything from literacy and IT to floristry and cooking and the homework club, things like many courses.
Wow.
But it's all gone now. But hopefully again it will come back. We get some funding from somewhere.
If I'm going to go to London, before I go back to New York, is there any place you recommend? Is there there's no gypsy presence there at all?
Not necessarily. No, I mean there will be, but not as prevalent as around here. How long are you in the UK for?
I'm in Bromley till tomorrow, and then I go to London. I'm going to go to London Tower, and I love poetry, so I'm going to visit Yorkshire, Sylvia Plath, Ted Hughes. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to go all the way to visit Sylvia Plath's grave. And then Sunday I'll go back home. So I'll do London Tower and Sylvia Plath, and there's some big hospital, Guy's Hospital, that has these beautiful sculptures outside. Have you seen that hospital? I want to photograph that. I've seen the pictures. These beautiful, giant, epic monuments like these.
Just if you go.
It's beautiful, right? It looks like it's a beautiful hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's right. It's central London, so you've got you can.
I'll be able to see Big Ben, by the way. It's you can just look up
from St Thomas's, which is not far. St Thomas's and Guy's are two hospitals, but they're connected together. They're not physically connected, but it's Guy's and St Thomas's. So it's about. So if you go to London Bridge train station.
I'll find it. You have to give me that.
No, it's okay. If you go to London Bridge and walk outside, you'll get to Guy's Hospital. If you get back on the train and go to Waterloo, and come out of Waterloo, you've got St Thomas's Hospital, and then you've got the London Eye, you've got Big Ben, you've got. If you go to
You've done all of this.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Of course. You're right on the embankment. If you go towards the embankment, then you see it.
It's called the Cray River, right? Or the Mary.
The River Cray. Yeah.
The River Cray. So does the River Cray? Where does it lead to? Where does it does it end in the Atlantic Ocean?
No, it goes into the Thames. So from.
Are you serious? Wow.
But it starts.
The river or River's Cray? The River Cray.
The River Cray.
It goes to Thames. Wow. And then Thames goes to the Atlantic Ocean, correct?
Yeah.
Wow. I can't wait to see this. I love rivers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Do they canoe? Do they ride?
No, it's not. You'd have to go further up to. You'd have to.
Do Roma Gypsies use the river for anything?
Not really. I mean, here it's more.
They don't fish. They don't do fishing and stuff.
But if you follow the river all the way down, it gets heavier as you go down. But up near here, it's just really not that much more than a stream.
That's cool, but it's still
beautiful. But it's
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's cool. Let me use the bathroom because I drank so much coffee.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you so much. This was incredible.
That's okay. You're very welcome.
You should teach courses in this.
Maybe one day we will.
You should do lectures upstairs.